Hi everybody, Dan Illman here taking a look at Friday's feature race at Remington Park. It's the $175,000 Governor's Cup, carded as race number 8. We're going 1.125 miles on the main track. Let's take a look at this field. The number 2, Plainsman, is your morning line favorite. Plainsman is a Class C fellow trained by Brad Cox. He's earned almost $1.5 million in his career. Multiple graded stakes winner. Won the Razorback earlier this year, coming off a little bit of a disappointing effort in a one-turn mile at Churchill Downs, but this horse has good tactical speed. He should be close to the pace. You've got the defending champion of this race, Rated R Superstar, a venerable 9-year-old. He's a millionaire as well, and it looks like he can still run at the age of 9, especially if there is some pace up front. So good news for Rated R Superstar fans is this Timeform US pace projector. It's a red bar scenario. It says it's going to be a fast pace, and that's exactly what the late-running, long-striding Rated R Superstar needs in order to be truly at his best. Whether this pace is as fast as Timeform US indicates, I'm not exactly sure. Plainsman is fast, but he's not exactly a need-the-lead type. Flash of Mischief and Tis Life are quick. I'm not sure if they're blazers. I think they're going to go out of there searching for forward position, if not the outright early lead. I think the pace will be fair to fast. I wouldn't be surprised if Tis Life from the far outside attempts to clear Flash of Mischief, and those horses are 1-2 going into the first turn, with Plainsman sitting just off. As for Rated R Superstar, again, he won this race last year by a neck, coming from next to last and last at the half-mile pole, and he won the Grade 3 Essex this year, and that's a pretty remarkable accomplishment for a 9-year-old. Since winning the Essex, however, I wonder if he's gone just a bit off form. He didn't fire in the Oaklawn Handicap, although that was a race where the pace pretty much held up and they ran 1, 2, 3 all the way around the track. Maybe he was compromised just a bit by the way the race set up. In the Steve Sexton Mile, he just didn't fire. It's possible that a mile at this point in his career is a little bit short for him, especially in a race where they go 24 for the opening quarter. And last time out on the Cornhusker, another situation where he tried to get into the race with an early move and he flattened out. The pace didn't seem fast. They went the half at 49-2. He might get the best pace scenario that he's seen in his last 3 or 4 races, and he should come with a good, strong late run. He's 4-1 on the morning line. The distance and track, obviously no issue for Rated R Superstar. I think 4-1's a little bit light on the tote. I would want him to drift up considering his current form. Plainsman is the horse to beat. He was 3rd in the Grade 1 Cigar Mile to close out his 2021 campaign. He bounced right back to win the Razorback in his seasonal debut, and then hit the board in a couple of more graded stakes races at Oaklawn. His last race, the Hanshin, is a little bit disappointing. He was 5-2 that day. He was pressing the pace, and he tired very badly. Maybe getting back out to 2 turns is what this horse wants, and the Hanshin was a race off of a slight layoff. He'll go second off the bench here. He has all the fast races from a buyer's speed figure standpoint, the tactical speed to work out a good trip, and he's run very well at Remington in the past. He's simply the horse to beat. The number 3 in here is Box Seat, coming off a couple of victories out of town. Box Seat recently won at Fair Meadows, Tulsa. That was a handicap race on June the 21st. Now, he was listed as a vet scratch there on July the 12th. His buyer speed figures are a little bit light. He has won at Remington Park in the past. He's also going to be stretching out to 1.125 miles for the first time in a while. So he's stepping up in class, he's stepping up in distance, and his buyers pale in comparison to those of the main competition. He is a big price. He was 5th in this race last year at 81-1. He should be a decent price once again. He is in very good form coming into this race. He just needs to improve. The 4 is Ethical Judgement, and we're going to watch his most recent race at Ellis Park for trainer Brendan Walsh. This race going 1 mile on July the 24th. It's an allowance race, and he broke from the inside post, which is often an advantage in 1-mile dirt races at Ellis. He's able to get up in the late stages and win. It looks like this horse is slowly racing himself back into shape. He was a 3-year-old that showed some quality for Walsh. He went on a long layoff, and his last race was his second start of the form cycle. It's quite possible he's moving forward. He's got a couple of nice-looking workouts at Churchill Downs leading up to this race, and this is a horse that has shown tactical speed. What I like most about his last race was his ability to sit just off the pace, because in his prior starts, he had gotten a little bit speed crazy. He might have the most upside of any horse horse in this race, and he's a horse you might want to consider. 3-1 on the morning line, though, again, light considering he's facing some really battle-tested, stakes-hardened veterans. The 5 is Catdaddy, and Catdaddy's a little bit of a reach. This will be his first start since April the 22nd when he just didn't fire in a $40,000 starter allowance at Oaklawn. The winner of that race would come back to run second, but only in a $50,000 starter allowance race. That horse earned an 85 Beyer speed figure. Catdaddy is at home at Remington Park. He was stakes placed here last fall, but he's coming off a layoff, not in great form, and I just want to take a wait-and-see approach. He's going to really have to use his home court advantage, I believe, if he is to upset this field. Here's the 6, Oliver, finishing second in his most recent start at Lone Star. This is a 6.5 furlong sprint. This is also only a $25,000 claiming race, and he was 13-1 in this event. The 8th place finisher from this race would come back to win, but that horse needed to drop down to the nickel level at Lone Star to win with a 77 Beyer. Oliver is the kind of horse that is some back class. He is a California bred that did some very good things back in 2019, and now he's sort of trying to rejuvenate himself, trying to resuscitate himself in a second career in the Midwest. His last race on the 4th of July, as we saw, was solid, but he's going to be stretching all the way out to 1 1/8, and he's never run 1 1/8 on the main track, and he's only tried it once on the turf. Maybe we'll see a little bit of speed from him, but the distance is a concern, as well as this gigantic hike up in class. Here's the 7, Flash of Mischief, scoring last time out at Canterbury on July the 27th. He got a really nice race flow this day. The pace was not necessarily fast. They went the opening quarter in almost 24 seconds, and Flash of Mischief was right up close to that pace, and that aided him as he stormed on home to win with a 93 Beyer speed figure, a career best number. This is a horse that's bounced around in stakes races in the Midwest in the past. He was second in the Oklahoma Derby last year. This distance I don't believe is going to be a problem for him, and he can stay up close to the pace. So for him, the key to this race is whether the Timeform US pace projector is right. If it's a red bar situation, it's a 180-degree different scenario than his most recent start, and maybe a fast pace would doom him to a minor award at best. But if he's able to sit off a fair to fast pace and moderate pace, he might be able to storm on home because he is in very good form right now. The 93 Beyer, again, a career best. Flash of Mischief goes out for high percentage trainer Carl Broberg, and he likes to win races. 7 of 19 lifetime. Tis Life is the number 8, and we're going to watch Tis Life's most recent race at Lone Star. This race back on June the 19th. He utilized his good speed going 1 1/8 to make the lead. He was the beaten favorite. He ends up finishing second. This race snapped a 3-race win streak for Tis Life. Maybe the 1 1/8 did him in that day. He is stepping up into the stakes ranks for the first time. This horse was once a $16,000 maiden claimer. He's found a home for this barn in Texas and in Oklahoma. Tis Life's going to show speed from the outside post. Whether he is good enough to take this quality field gate to wire or in a pace-pressing fashion going 1 1/8 is a little bit of a different story. 6-1 on Tis Life. I would need a little bit more. Plainsman has all the fast races as we take a look at my top selections for this race, and I think if he runs back to his best, he's going to be very, very salty in here. I did like the way Flash of Mischief won his most recent start, the number 7. I think he's a very intriguing runner in this race, coming off of that career best Beyer speed figure score, but I think Plainsman's going to sit off the pace this time around and try to get first run on the true closers, turning into the stretch. It's the $175,000 Governor's Cup, and it's the feature race at Remington Park on Friday. Good luck.